Something unusual is moving through our solar system, and on December 19, 2025, it will glide through the region of space our planet occupies. At first, astronomers were calm. They labeled it an interstellar visitor, another icy wanderer, another cosmic tourist passing through. But each new observation has only deepened the sense that this object is not what it appears to be. The more closely scientists examine it, the stranger it becomes. This visitor, informally nicknamed 3I Atlas, is breaking every rule we thought applied to comets. High-resolution images taken over the past few months have stunned observatories around the world. Instead of the typical single tail streaming behind it, 3I Atlas is releasing at least 7 jets, each blasting in a completely different direction. Some jets stretch for millions of kilometers, carving straight lines through interplanetary space. One forms an anti-tail nearly 1 million kilometers long. Another extends almost 3 million kilometers in the opposite direction. These structures aren't wispy clouds. They're tight, coherent beams, the kind we simply don't see in natural comet activity. What makes the phenomenon even more astonishing is that some of these jets appear to be firing toward the sun rather than away from it. That breaks basic solar physics. A comet's tail forms when sunlight warms the surface, turning ice into vapor that streams outward, always pushed by solar radiation. But 3I Atlas is doing something almost intentional, releasing material in directions that defy the very force shaping it. The entire body seems to pulse with brightness, twist in shape, and shift color as though an internal system is controlling the flow of energy. Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb ran calculations to make sense of it. If these jets were natural, driven purely by sublimating gas, then the comet's nucleus would need to be enormous, at least 10 kilometers across, to produce this level of outflow. But telescopes around the globe show something dramatically smaller. A core barely 1 or 2 kilometers wide. That tiny nucleus shouldn't have enough surface area to generate the powerful jets we're seeing. Something is not matching the math. This forces scientists into 2 explanations, neither of which feels comfortable. One possibility is that the object recently shattered into countless fragments that now release far more gas than the original nucleus could. But this would create chaotic, uneven jets that change randomly. That's not what 3I Atlas is showing. The jets are stable, aligned, clean, deliberate. Which leaves the second possibility: these jets are controlled, or at least guided by some mechanism we do not yet understand. This is where the scientific mystery becomes unsettling. As the object approaches the sun, its color has begun to shift. Normally, comets glow white or yellow due to dust reflecting sunlight. But this visitor is turning a deep, metallic blue. That hue is extremely rare for icy bodies and suggests a reflective surface, possibly metallic or crystalline. It's as if the surface is polished, engineered, or covered with materials that don't behave like dust or frozen gas. Its motion adds to the puzzle. 3I Atlas is accelerating in ways gravity alone cannot explain. Analysts tracking its trajectory have noted slight but consistent velocity increases that line up with the changing jet activity. That means something is giving it a push. Even stranger, tiny course corrections appear in each new observation, adjustments too smooth and too subtle to be caused by random outgassing. Dr. Loeb described the entire situation as bordering on impossible, a natural object behaving with the precision of engineered hardware. A comet shouldn't generate multiple coordinated jets, shift its color toward metallic blue, and accelerate without an external force. Yet this is exactly what is happening. As December approaches, the global astronomy community is preparing with unprecedented attention. This object will not come anywhere near Earth, but it will pass close enough for the largest telescopes, ground-based and orbital, to capture the most detailed images ever taken of an interstellar visitor. Teams already have observation windows planned down to the minute. Agencies are treating the pass almost like a planetary event. The buildup is not just scientific curiosity, it's anticipation. Because when 3I Atlas reaches its closest approach, the world may finally learn whether this strange traveler is simply an unusual comet, or something far more significant. If the jets fade and the object breaks apart, the mystery dissolves. But if the structure holds, the color deepens, the jets stay symmetrical, and the acceleration remains measurable, then humanity will be witnessing something unprecedented. A visitor from another star system that behaves less like a comet, and more like a craft. December the 19th may be the moment when everything changes. The moment when our telescopes finally reveal the true nature of this object. The moment when we confront a question we never expected to ask. What, exactly, is moving toward our sun? And why does it look like it's guided? As the final weeks before December 19th draw closer, astronomers, physicists, and even engineers are racing to collect every scrap of data they can about the interstellar object 3I Atlas. The sense of urgency grows each time a new image arrives. Every fresh observation shows something different, new jets, new angles, new pulses of light. The object seems alive, not biologically, but mechanically, as if it is reacting to its environment in real time. The most stunning development is the consistency of its jets. In a natural comet, jets flare unpredictably as warm patches rotate into sunlight. They sputter, drift, collapse, or scatter. But the jets on 3I Atlas remain astonishingly stable. Some show nearly perfect directional alignment, not bending or dispersing like gas clouds. It is as though each jet is functioning as a channel for something, energy, gas, particles, released with a precision nature rarely provides. And the strange blue glow keeps intensifying. Spectral analysis reveals unusually strong reflections in wavelengths associated with certain metals and exotic minerals. Whatever the surface is made of, it behaves unlike anything found on typical comets. Some researchers have quietly proposed the possibility of an alloy, a blend of materials forged under conditions that don't occur naturally in icy bodies. The idea of engineered material is controversial. No one wants to be the scientist who claims an interstellar craft is passing through the solar system. But at the same time, no one can fully dismiss the possibility anymore. Not when the object keeps breaking rules we consider ironclad. The motion is perhaps the most troubling clue. Its slight acceleration lines up perfectly with the activation of new jets. When one jet brightens, the object shifts minutely, changing its path in a way that mirrors thrust rather than random outgassing. These aren't chaotic forces, these are vectors. They appear controlled. And tiny direction changes are becoming more frequent, almost like the object is navigating rather than drifting. To make sense of this, some researchers have expanded the range of possible explanations. One hypothesis suggests that 3I Atlas might be hollow or partially hollow, a structure rather than a solid core. Another proposes a kind of natural propulsion mechanism made of exotic ices that sublimate in unique ways. But these theories collapse under scrutiny. Nothing explains the metallic sheen. Nothing explains the coordinated jet activity. Nothing explains the acceleration. Except the idea no one wants to state openly. If this object is not natural, then it might be using those jets deliberately. Not to communicate, not to scan, not to maneuver aggressively, but simply to travel. For all we know, it could be old, ancient, damaged, or even abandoned, drifting through space for millions of years until gravity pulled it into our system. A relic from a civilization that no longer exists. A mechanism still running on the last energy trapped inside its structure. If that were true, its unusual behavior would make sense. The blue color might be exposed hull. The jets could be remnants of a guidance system. The subtle changes in motion could be automatic corrections built into whatever technology powers it, even if that system is now barely functional. Interstellar space is not kind to fragile objects. A natural comet would erode, fracture, or break apart long before crossing light years of harsh radiation and gravitational forces. But something engineered, something built to survive, might endure the journey. On December 19, dozens of telescopes will be watching. The James Webb Space Telescope will record its infrared signature. The Hubble replacement telescopes will track its light variations. Ground observatories will capture its jets in higher detail than ever before. Each dataset will help answer a single overwhelming question. Is 3I Atlas alive in the mechanical sense, or simply a freak of interstellar nature? If it turns out to be a shattered comet, we'll file it away as one of the strangest natural objects ever seen. But if the structure remains crisp, if the jets hold formation, and if the blue metallic glow brightens, then the universe may be revealing something profound. Something that suggests intelligence once existed somewhere far beyond our star system. Something that may have been traveling for eons before our species took its first step onto land. 3I Atlas might not be approaching us with intent. It may not be signaling or searching. But its presence alone may be the message, a reminder that we are not the first to build, to explore, or to venture among the stars. And as it passes our orbit on that cold December day, humanity may finally understand that the universe has been whispering to us all along.